All right. Are we live, bruh? Like my boy Jack Move says. Are we live? Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me make sure everything's crispy. All right. All right. What's up? What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Football Sunday. So far, the game's been great. But I wanted to do this podcast anyway. Because I think the real big game everybody's going to pay attention to is the 49ers Rams. But this is a good game. But hold up. So I apologize for the delay. Of course, Windows coming through with the clutch. Detected an error. Had to do a forced restart. The most popular, most used OS in the world. And it's flawless. So it is what it is, right? But I'm here. What's going on, chat? Appreciate you guys rocking out. I truly appreciate you guys coming through. Shout out to the chat. We got some couple of things to talk about. Got some good topics for y'all. Right now I'm just booting up my Discord in case people want to automatically drop by. So if you've previously podcasted with me, you know what to do. You could get up in here. Speak your mind. How I sound? Do I sound crispy, people? The levels is good? The levels is good? We got the amazing panel up in here. Truly appreciate all of you guys showing up. I see some new names up in here. That is awesome. Been getting new subscribers, so I'm glad. That tells me I'm providing at least some decent content that you guys are enjoying. So that's always a good thing. That's all I try to do. Provide good content, good conversations, good topics that you guys can enjoy. And I'm seeing it. I've seen it through, right? The chat's growing and stuff like that. All I ask is if you hit the like button and retweet this out, gaming groups that you're in, Twitter, obviously, Facebook gaming groups, let other people know. Say like, yo, check out Porter Rock, man. If you want some common sense knowledge and stuff like that, you should check them out. Glad you all here. Truly appreciate it. Who we got here? Okay. All right. Obviously, we got Brian. We got Briar. What's up? Jeff B. What's going on? Sam Ash. Vedger. Always down. Truly appreciate you coming through. Spider Silver. What's up? DMG. Blackbeard. King Nuke. We got Carol or Carell. Anchor. What's up? Overdone. Always with the memes. Adrian. What's up? Happy Sunday. Derpy Delane. Yeah, we live. Powler29. Was good. JC King. Perico. Uh-oh. I know what that means. IB18. I apologize for the lateness, man. Windows. You know how it is. Everybody knows how it is. Ice Queen Gaming. What's going on? Happy Sunday. Javon. Happy Sunday. Steady Flow. Rabbit. Got that gun. Uh-oh. Woke up this morning. Got yourself a gun. Uh-oh. Watch it now. You got Fatty Fee. Dragon. Oh, I'm going to just say Dragon Balls. We're going to stop there. Dizzy123. What's going on? Happy Sunday. Advocate 1818. We go Weather. What is it? Weatherman. What's up? Jay's Wade. Star Guardian. Who else are going down here? The Truth. What's up? The Truth. Happy Sunday. Warlock Dog. Garuda Legends. Always been around. What's up, Garuda? And then, I guess Russian, but the message got deleted by Ice Queen Gaming, so he's probably on some fuck shit. Ferragnar. Let's go. Arzon050. No doubt. Heath Stevens. Always down. Who else we got here? Hola, Moco. Hola, hermano. ¿Cómo está? What's up? Who else we go there? Jinx Gaming. Welcome aboard. Carl. Love that name. It's just Carl. That is awesome. What's up, Carl? Welcome aboard. Glad you were able to make it through. Jenna Hayes. And we got Chaos. And then, of course, the Brain. What's going on? We're going to talk some stuff. And we already got a super chat coming through. All right. Damn, already. Appreciate it. It's MK. Yo, P-Rock with the Euro. My buddies, my friends and families from Europe. Miss you guys. Man, I miss Europe, man. Oh, my God. I will go back in an instant. An amazing time. What's going on? Happy Sunday. I'm glad I was able to, push out a podcast early enough for you guys to catch. Because I know how it is. I felt your pain. The difference. Yo. Showan, what's up? My brother with the mentals. He's been warning me. He's like, yo, P-Rock. Microsoft ain't messing around, bro. They tired of being embarrassed. It ain't about creating good games. It's about big bank take little bank. My man, Showan said, the game's done change. Microsoft ain't trying to create. They're trying to buy everything. They're like, if we can't win in this league, we're just gonna buy the league, and their cloud sells the winner. Shawan Warby, he says it's about big bank take little bank. Oh man, what's up, everybody? Hey, I'm really happy that you guys are here. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. Fantastic weekend. I had a pretty good weekend, but I'm really glad that you guys are here. I hope everything's safe. Monday kick off a new week. When you kick off the new week, get it, and get it. Any opportunity that shows up on your door, take it. I wish y'all the best. But let's talk about some stuff. But before we get into the topic, I want to show y'all something. Let's add a little humor to this. I got 100 viewers already. Appreciate it. Hit the like button. Especially, you gotta hit the like button after I show you this. Because this is just too funny. Let me show you. Where's it at? I think it's number 8? Yeah, I think it's number 8. Image 8. Check this out. Xbox trying to get the CIA and FBI after me. Yes, I am such a threat to the Xbox community that they had to elevate. Bad enough, I don't know if you guys been around rocking with me for how long, but some of you may have remembered when they tried to get PETA after me, PETA, and they added PETA to shut me down for some comment that had nothing to do with animals violations, whatever. But you're trying to get them. So now they escalated the game. Alright? The Ruham, my brother, been down here since day one. What's going on, my brother? I hope you enjoyed the show. But I'm gonna provide some laughter, Ruham. This is worth. Yo, how much is this worth right here? They trying to get the CIA after me. Yo, these guys are trying to get me waterboarded, right? These Xbox are hoping that one day, I might take a flight, right? I take a flight, right? I got my plane ticket. I'm at the airport. I'm walking down the hallway. Then out of the blue, someone just snatches me in a room, puts a hood on me, and flies me to Saudi Arabia, and they start waterboarding me. That's what they're hoping for. That's how serious this shit got. Hey, yo. Yo, what's next? They're going to call NATO? The KGB? Who's next? Yo, this shit is crazy. Who sent that tweet is a user. The user is Xbox_serious_XS. Yeah. So it's Xbox_serious_XS. He probably has you blocked. Half of y'all were asking, Yo, I'm not lying. That tweet, I didn't yo, listen. I don't do Adobe Photoshop and makeup shit to entertain y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I don't create a lie because it's funny to entertain y'all. I try to entertain y'all with the truth because as ridiculous as it sounds, the truth is funnier because it's the truth. Does that make sense? What you're seeing on the screen is real. He actually did that. And that's what makes it so funny, right? So what led to this? What did I do? Porter, what did you do? Because that's always the thing. It's my fault, right? All I did was I sent out a tweet and I just asked myself, because I see a lot of tweets, right? Every time a developer talks about their game, you got two groups. You got one group that asks questions about the game. Is it have this? Did it this? Did you see this? If it's a sequel, did it improve on this? Particularly Dying Light, right? And then you got the one group that doesn't even talk about the game at all. They just ask one question. is it coming to Game Pass? That's it. That's the only thing they care about. Everybody else is trying to talk about the game, but one group is just injecting. So I always wondered, so the question I asked was, do developers get annoyed? I'm paraphrasing now, but I asked, every time a developer talks about the game, do they get annoyed from the comments of, is it on Game Pass? Is it on Game Pass? When the intent is to talk about the game itself, right? Especially when they have no intention. So I just put that out there. Boy, did that upset Xbox gamers. Steady Flow. Xbox got no games. Steady Flow with the super chat. He said, Xbox got no games worth playing, so they're trying to silence people talking about PlayStation greatness. They so salty, my guy. Steady Flow. It's ridiculous, and we're going to talk about that. But it's true, man. It's true. It's just, they're doing a lot of non-profit work to prop up Xbox on a pedestal. They're putting way overtime. It's crazy how much effort they're doing, right? But anyway, so I just brought that up, comment. I did not think it was gonna. It wasn't even really an antagonizing comment. I was just wondering what I was hoping is a couple of developers be like, "Yo, you're right, man. That shit does get annoying, right? When the topic they want, is to talk about their games." And that shit led to that. Then somebody found that tweet. If you look at the screen, the one where I put finesse, so look at it, right? So I retweeted that TM guy on how you can finesse Xbox Game Pass, right? If you create a new account, every new account, their first time subscriber to Game Pass is $1, right? So you create a new account, you get it for $1. With that new account, you can link your gamer tag, link it to the new account, and now you have access to Game Pass. And if you want to put in that energy, you can repeat that over and over and over, and you'll always have Game Pass for $1, 12 times a year. So $12 a month, vice $15 a month. So I just retweeted that. Now, I retweeted that because it is a finesse. That's like, yo, this dude figured out how to finesse the system. Hence his finesse. So my boy Xbox, serious, whoever he is, and this is a dude, this is not a kid. Because they showed me a picture, his picture, well, not just me in particular. However they found out, which I don't agree with. That's why I didn't push it, and I'm not going to show it here because I don't agree with that. But they showed his picture, who he is. He's a grown man. He's in his 40s, whatever. He's an adult, right? Just like me, I'm an adult, right? But I'm not going to go out there if he's not putting his own picture out there like I do. I don't care if people share my pictures around because you see me, I'm live. You see me with my, the cloudy diesel thing. I have no issues with my, image going out there. But he might have. If he didn't volunteer to do it, I didn't push it. But I see who he is. So he's a grown man. It's not like we're dealing with a kid. But for a grown man to actually put energy into this, look at this. He wrote, "This is what you call promotional abuse, fraud." And then he tags me, and you are sharing to everyone how to do it. At CIA, take a look at this. At FBI, take a look at this. At U.S. Army, does promoting fraud violate your code of ethics? So he listed this, right? And all that stuff. So let's break this down, right? Because he clearly is wasting people's time. CIA doesn't care about consumerism, whatever. It's the Central Intelligence Agency. They actually deal with more foreign operations or foreign operations that can involve domestically than this shit. They don't care about business stuff like that at all. They don't really care about that. That's not their problem, right? They care about terrorism and things that could, endanger America and actually gather intelligence on other countries and stuff like that. So a grown man doesn't understand that. That's crazy. 2, FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations. You can say they may be involved in identity fraud. Well, no, they are. They're involved in identity fraud and things like that. But me retweeting what someone else did, which technically is not really illegal, is not something they're going to get involved with. And then finally, he tags the U.S. Army, does promoting fraud violate your code of ethics? It's really code of conduct. But I'm not even with the Army. And I guarantee if any branch of service saw this tweet, they would just laugh at you and be like, these are the dudes that would never make boot camp. Because they would look at you like, what the fuck? Like, why are you even, like, what? They would laugh at you. You understand what I'm saying? They would be like, these weak-ass civilians is unbelievable. They would just laugh at you. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sorry. Like, you made yourself look dumb. Now I can see why, I'll be honest, I can see why you don't put your own face out there. Because it allows you to do dumb shit like this. Like me, I would never do some dumb shit like this. Because my face is out there. So going like this level of stupidity, I can't because my face is out there. But guys like you who hide your face, you can get away with this stuff because, you know, no one will ever associate it. You know, all they can associate, you know, you didn't even bother to at least associate, like, I can see your avatar, you know, that Iron Greenberg started with Crash Bandicoot. You couldn't even rock your own brand by putting your own face on that because that's what most of the people are doing. They're putting their own face mimicking Aaron Greenberg. You didn't even do that. So we know you don't want your face out there so you can continue this level of silliness. But that's on you, bro. But I found this hilarious that it's to the point that, yo, dudes out here want the FBI. They're going to bring NATO. Who else they going to get? Masood. Foreign Legion. Bruh. Game Pass Karens. Yo, I started a new term that I'm noticing is trending and people like. Corporate concubines. That's what these dudes are now. We're gonna kick off 2022 with some with freshness, some fresh lingo. We gotta freshen up the lingo. We need some new language for the new gen. So I like Game Pass Karens. That's a new one. We're gonna start using that. I like that one. Who said that one? Who just said that? Because I gotta give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Compost Smurf. Game Pass Karens. So we got these Game Pass Karens and corporate concubines. You gotta give that credit to me. So that's the new wave now. Yo, let's start it. Start that stuff. Corporate concubines out here doing the most, and these Game Pass Karens making sure that ain't nobody talking trash about Game Pass. Yo, oh my God. These dudes are trying to get the elite of the elite. Spetsnaz, the Royal Air Force, the Royal Marines. They're going to get the best. They're going to get Men in Black. The next stage is going to be Men in Black. One day I'm going to open the door and I see two guys in suits. And they're going to go, hey, are you Porter Rock 77? And I'm like, yes. And they're just going to be like, they're just going to grab a little device. They're going to be, oh, okay. Boo! You love Xbox. You hype everything Xbox and you love Game Pass. And you will dedicate your life to serving Phil and serving Game Pass. Do you understand? I love Xbox. Nothing but Xbox. I will dedicate my life to serving Phil, have his baby, and yes, I will constantly, provide, talk about Game Pass. Yes, that's who I am. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want me to be like them. I wouldn't be surprised if right now they're emailing Phil, be like, hey, Phil, we know your next acquisition. And Phil's like, all right, who you want me to acquire? Porter Rock 77 in his channel. Yeah, just acquire it and shut it down. Like, acquire it. Like, acquire 60 frames, no lag. In his Twitter. Acquire it. Purchase it for $6 billion and just shut him the fuck up. Chaos is like, have his baby. Hey, you seen the new emoji, right? It's for them. I don't know, man. Oh, man. Game Pass Karens and corporate concubines. This is crazy, man. This has been a crazy, man. Hit that like button. All right, so let's get to the topics. I just thought that was funny, the CIA now. When I look out the door, I'm gonna see like the white laundry van with just out there every day. Now I gotta check my phone to see if it's been tapped. Because this is a big deal. It's a big deal. I'm dangerous. I'm a threat to Xbox Nation. And they had enough. Oh man, this is too funny. But let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about the hate behind Horizon Forbidden West. So, Xbox, another corporate concubine, J-Rock, got two GIF images of, one representing Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. And the specific animation of where, Aloy, she does a little hook. And then the way she travels down, they're both the same. And he's joked that it's copy and paste. And this actually blew up. It went viral. But it went viral for a good reason, right? It went viral for good reason, right? Because it didn't actually address something that people notice and it would be like, a good topic to talk about. That's not what happened. What ended up happening is like, why is the community full of guys like these? Like, why are you guys like this, right? Like, have you even played any games? Like, for example, if you play Gears of War, right? Gears of War 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's a lot of rehashed animations because, they're like, even the girl looks like as big as the dudes. And they run just like as big as the dudes. And they, they do the cover the same way. And they're like little crouched dwarfs. And they look like this. And they're like, doing all this weird shit. Like, because they're so big and muscular. Even the females are like Diesel. So, like, they're like really, the same animation. That's like Gears of War, right? Because it's not like you're going to redo the animation of this particular character differently every single time. It doesn't make sense. It's the same person, right? You might make it smoother, improve on it, and stuff like that, but it's pretty much going to be the same. It got so bad that even the corporation, the developers, right, that he concubines for, even they thrashed him. It's bad when Xbox devs go after you. The people you concubine for, when you twerk for the very group that bashes you, that's like, yo, you messed up. Like, you messed up. Like, you messed up. Like, wow. Like, yo, he got thrashed. This shit is hilarious, bro. I never seen someone get thrashed like that so bad from everywhere, right? But the question is, like, why does this keep happening, right? Especially when Forbidden West is going to be a banger, right? Right? And one day it might end up on PC. Who knows when, I know some people think that Sony's going to start doing, PlayStation 5 and then 1 year on PC. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to keep, for the most part, still work on the PlayStation 4 catalog for a little while. So you might not see Forbidden West for years to come. But when it does come to PC, just like Zero Dawn and God of War, a lot of PC gamers are like, yo, these games are really good, right? The PC gamers that never played these games because they never owned the PlayStation and never saw the big deal in owning a PlayStation, they are now getting a taste on these PlayStation exclusives. And they are really enjoying it. You see the Steam reviews, their personal reviews are writing down, right? And some of these games, some of the games that they played, it created a fan base within the PC community, right? So you got PC gamers, the majority of them, they're cool, they enjoy the game, they think it's great, and then that's it. They'll just wait for the next one. But within the PC community, there are those that are enjoying the game, that they are now fans of that franchise. So now, like, some PC gamers that didn't play God of War, right? Obviously the 2018, and now they played it on PC for the first time. They're like, wait a minute. Now they're God of War fans because of this game. They are willing to go buy a PS5 now, because they want Ragnarok, and they don't want to wait for the news of when Ragnarok is going to come out on PC. They don't want to wait for that. They just want to play the game because now they love it. They are fans of that game now. Same thing with Horizon. Horizon going on PC created, I can't tell you how big it is, but there is now a fan base of Horizon, Horizon Zero Dawn fans, that many of them are now going to get a PlayStation 5 to play, or even a 4 Pro. They're going to get something because they want to play the game immediately and not wait. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not saying they transitioned or, they're not PC gamers anymore or, none of that. They just going to get the console and they're going to play it. They want to enjoy these games and they don't want to wait a while. So they're willing to get the console for it. So that's just people who are willing to play the games and willing to go on the platform to play the games. And that's pretty amazing and stuff like that, right? So we all know these PlayStation exclusives, many of them, and I'm not gonna say all of them, right? But many of them are top tier, high quality, push the boundaries of graphics given the platform that they're running on, right? Given on the platform that they're running on, the graphics are very impressive for the hardware that they're running on, right? Then of course you got the salty Xbox fans and influencers trying to diminish simply because 2022 is kicking off with PlayStation bangers and some multi-plat bangers, like Elden Ring is going to be a banger, right? But with PlayStation kicking off with the exclusive 2022, and Xbox already kicked off with some, not so good news. What was it? What game got officially delayed? I think was it Crossfire? Well, Crossfire didn't get very good previews. Redfall, there's rumors that it might be delayed. Well, the game's got delayed for Xbox. Because Xbox kickoff started off the year with a bad preview, which is Crossfire X. The previews of that game was not positive. Even the most hardcore Xbox influencers, they couldn't help it. Like, they were like, oh, man, this isn't it. Rainbow Six Extraction, news of going day and date on Game Pass, that blew up. But now that the game is actually out, everybody's saying that the game's dog shit. So that's why, notice nobody's really... Stalker 2, there you go, thank you. Thank you, chat. But notice you didn't hear anything about Extraction. Extraction's out, and it's on Game Pass. So why isn't anybody talking about it? Because everybody's saying the game's doo-doo. Like, it's trash, right? And Stalker 2's delayed all the way out to, like, almost the end of the year. So Xbox already punted into the stands to kick off 2022. And if rumors is true, Redfall, which is supposed to be around the summer, that might get delayed. So you most likely will have, from now all the way out to... let's say at least October, nothing for Xbox in terms of exclusive content or whatever. So you're back to square one, right? Right? And with PlayStation kicking off with Horizon Forbidden West, huge blockbuster game, and it looks fantastic, right? In fact, the game looks so fantastic that even PlayStation's showing the PS4 Pro version. And even that one looks really good. It looks really, really good, right? We also got Sifu this month. I don't know if you guys are excited. I'm absolutely excited for Sifu. Those are my top games along with Elden Ring. And I'm excited for Elden Ring. I know many of you are excited for Dying Light 2. I think it's good. I just never finished the first one. So I may have to go back, finish the first one to really get a feel of it. But right now, my top 3 is going to be Sifu, Horizon Forbidden West, and Elden Ring, right? I think I'll buy Forbidden West first. Go through that, and then I'll go get Elden Ring. Because I know those are 2 long games and stuff like that, right? Then the following month, March, Gran Turismo 7, which is huge for you guys. You guys know how I feel about racing games, right? But my subjective opinion about racing games doesn't stop me from being objective of how popular and how big racing games is for you guys. So there's a difference between subjective view and objective view. I don't let my subjective view hinder my objective view. So I know Gran Turismo 7 is going to be huge for PlayStation fans, right? Forspoken's in May. Also in March is Babylon Falls from Square Enix. I'm looking for that. Strangers of Paradise. People are letting me know about that. Gotta look into it. But apparently that's like from the Final Fantasy. So I gotta look more into that. Yo. Overall, as a total package, between the exclusives and the multiplats, man, PlayStation's really hitting it hard, right? Sure, some of the multiplats you can play on Xbox, but that's all you're going to get because Microsoft was supposed to add, games on top of that, like Stalker 2, right? And then potentially Redfall in the summer, and Crossfire X was supposed to be a hit. And, how my man Jay Barry says, my boy Jay Barry says, that Xbox stench, woo! It's hitting, right? So the Xbox community sees that. At least, the guys who corporate concubine. So they're going to try to do a campaign to try to downgrade, push out their worst for Forbidden West, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Unless the game itself is truly a bad game. But if it comes out the same quality product we got with Forbidden West, even better, the game is going to speak for itself. On PlayStation, just like Jim Ryan said, let the games do the talking. And they do on PlayStation. The games do a lot of talking. And they do a fantastic job of hearing that. And I think we're all excited. Can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Month's almost over. Some of you already got started. Right? How many of you got the Uncharted collection? With Uncharted 4. And what's the other one? Lost Legacy. For both PC and PlayStation 5 for the PS5 and PC. I see some of you are rocking that and, reliving that game with the latest tech, better graphics, all that stuff, all shebang, haptic feedbacks, and you enjoy it. I didn't really want to relive that stuff. I just didn't want to. Not that particular game. Not that I have anything against Uncharted. I love Uncharted. But with all these new games coming out within a week or two, I didn't have the energy to put into the Uncharted collection. I just really didn't. Right, we're getting new content right around the corner, so I didn't have the energy to that. And I will tell you why, because I did beat Uncharted 4 on crushing. I'm not willing to go through that again, especially if you remember the ship part on crushing. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about when I say the beach area. Oh my god, that was miserable. That thing was so hard, bro. Yo, it was ridiculous. That scene. I think most of you knows exactly what I'm talking about. The beach ship on crushing. Yo, that part was ridiculous. But I did it. I beat on crushing. I just don't want to go through that. There's too many bangers on this side, right? It's crazy. But but Homeboy got roasted. Homeboy got roasted, but it is what it is, man. I think, he got popularity. Maybe he got some more followers. Maybe a whole lot of followers. Sometimes you got to play the game, right? Sometimes, how the phrase goes, bad publicity is still publicity. It is what it is, man. Let's talk about the next one. This one I think is a more serious topic. Right here, right? So the topic here is, Xbox influencers, Microsoft influencers, whatever, they fear Sony's potential or possible things they can do, right? The topic is pretty much still going back to Microsoft acquiring Activision now. So after Microsoft acquired Bethesda, and now they're in the workings to acquire Activision, if you just look at third-party devs, just strictly third-party devs, Bethesda and Activision are part of like the top 10 devs in the industry from a third-party perspective, right? And now Microsoft acquired one, which is ZeniMax, and they're on their way, ZeniMax, which has Bethesda under them, and they're on their way to try to complete the purchase of Activision, which would be finalized sometime in 2023. So it's a long time. They have to go through this process all throughout 2022 and then a little bit of 2023. No one was specific on how long within 2023. Maybe just the first half, who knows. But you could at least see at least a year and a half of this being in progress, right? They haven't purchased Activision yet, but that's what they're attempting to. They're going through the motions. So within a year and a half, you could potentially see Activision under the Xbox banner. With that said, and all the conversations, everybody from financial analysts to gaming outlets to gamers, everybody's asking what are potential moves that Sony can do. Well, from the Microsoft side, whether it's a Microsoft fan, Xbox fanboy, influencer, they all have the same, they're trying to create the same narrative. Sony's broke. They don't have the money. There's nothing they can do. Hell, I even seen some people in 7 years, Sony's going to go under. That's how, like, out of touch that side of the house is. Completely out of touch, right? So finally, people were asking, hey, is it possible Sony could buy EA? That was a specific thing and stuff. My boy, shout out King David. Check out his Iron Lords podcast. Great person. He is a good dude. Don't let his joke and fun about Xbox and all that stuff get to the best of you. All right. David is a genuine good dude. He is an all-around good dude. You guys, a lot of people don't let, the shit talking, trash talking, console warring. He is a genuine good dude. But, hey, when you play the game, you got to play the game, right? So if you're going to console war, it's just what it is, all good fun. But my boy, David, was like, they are broke in the cash sense. Don't mingle words. Microsoft made an all-cash buy. For Sony to do that to EA, they would have to address their debt. Remember, I'm a business owner. Knowing paperwork is kind of my thing, right? So, Old Man Gamer, I guess he's a financial analyst or works in it. He says, broke in the cash sense? Question mark. So no one can ever buy a house. These assets, their assets rich as fuck. AF, right? They have 17 billion of net debt and assets of 238 billion. You think a bank won't lend them money? Nothing but a decent business case stopping Sony borrowing another 50 billion to do what the fuck they want to do, right? So that's one point he made, right? Another financial analyst, David Faulkner, he says Sony's top 10 shareholders are 8 banks, 1 hedge fund, and 1 national treasury department from Norway. I doubt they will have trouble getting loans or even raising cash via equity funding. Plus, they have the Japanese government to call on, right? And I think those are the 2 main quotes I have. Yes. Okay. Here's the problem with this whole situation, right? Just like anything else, everybody's putting their subjective view because they have a personal maybe agenda is too strong, right? But they have something personal, right? And addressing a reality goes against, what they subjectively want to happen, right? So you got a group of guys on the Xbox side, Microsoft side, they want to keep reiterating Sony's broke, Sony broke. They can't do this. Because ultimately, they don't want Sony to buy anybody. They want that realm to strictly be Microsoft. And they can understand if Apple, Google, and Amazon become a player, right? And I'll be honest, if Amazon, Google, or Facebook bought them, I don't think the Xbox will have a problem. Or Xbox fans or Xbox influencers. They're not going to really have a problem with that. But they will have a problem if Sony does it. So this is not about everybody else, okay? And you can see that that's their mentality. How many times they call the game exclusive simply because it's not on a PlayStation platform, even though you can play it on PC, even Nintendo Switch, right? If you can play it on the Switch and you can play it on PC, it's not exclusive. But they don't see any other, platform. It's irrelevant. Their definition of exclusive is whether they're playing a game that you can play on PlayStation. If you can't play it on PlayStation, exclusive. If you can play it on PlayStation, not exclusive. Doesn't matter every other device. That's just their mentality, right? So they're afraid of Sony having the ability to actually go out and purchase a major publisher. So they want to stay in that realm. Some of them are convinced, right? And I've been hearing a podcast. Some of them are convinced, right, that Sony doesn't need to do that. Just keep doing what you're doing. They're pushing that in hopes that people listen to them, and Sony. And I don't think anyone's gonna make Sony do anything. Whatever they're gonna do is completely in the realm of their business. I don't think the fan base or Twitter or podcast has any influences on Sony's next decision, right? But whatever it is, they're trying to convince themselves that Sony doesn't need to do anything. Everything's just okay. Never mind the fact that Microsoft just purchased Bethesda and they're about to purchase Activision. So 2 of the biggest top 10 publishers is going to be under Microsoft, and Sony doesn't need to do anything. They even went as far as trying to convince the audience, well, who you really need to be scared of is Facebook. Yeah, and Amazon and Google. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tell people, don't worry about Microsoft. Worry about Amazon. Worry about Google. Worry about Facebook. Worry about Tencent. That's who you need to worry about. And I'm sitting here listening to dudes like, these dudes didn't buy anything. They're not buying big publishers. In fact, Google, they got rid of their first-party studio, and they said they're going to focus more on the third-party providers and see if they could get more content, and that's how you're going to play Stadia. No one else started this huge publisher acquisition war. It was Microsoft did that. And they're on their second one. So you want people to worry about Facebook, Google, Amazon. And they haven't even bought, anything. But the company that did buy a major publisher, and they're on their way buying, which is arguably the largest third-party publisher, ignore them? Ignore Microsoft. Worry about everybody else who really hasn't done anything. That don't make no sense. If I could understand the Microsoft, the Xbox fans that listen to these podcasts agreeing with them. I got it, because they're all Team Xbox. But if you're a PC gamer, you don't have to really worry about much, because your content's going to still be there. But if you're a Nintendo gamer, you're a PlayStation gamer, and even PC gamers, just from the conversation topic, right? If you're listening to these Xbox guys, it's like, you guys are really cheering and doing your best to protect Microsoft. None of your points make sense. Yes, you got to be nervous about Microsoft. They are actually buying the stuff. They're doing it. And the question is, how much more are they going to do it before it impacts the other ecosystems by keeping all this stuff, these third-party multiplats, and publishers permanently on their ecosystem, right? You gotta wonder something, right? So I think more and more people are now, after the initial shock and after the conversation of, organic growth, PlayStation creates, Microsoft takes, all that was really unnecessary, but I get it. I think now people are wondering, and more the conversation of, is there something that Sony might do? And it's not a retaliation, because I think that's using the wrong word. Whatever decision Sony makes, it won't be retaliating on Microsoft, because there's no retaliation. That doesn't even make sense. It's what I said earlier and what I said in my other videos and podcasts. It's about preservation. It's looking at the specific publishers and who's important, who makes the mark, that you have to ensure, hey, this publisher, we have to make sure their game stays on PlayStation. And what Microsoft is doing, because you have to focus on Microsoft, not Google, not Facebook, because they haven't done anything. It's Microsoft. We have to get this publisher, purchase them, so the content and all future content that they make stays on the PlayStation ecosystem. You're not going to buy the entire industry, right? You're not going to buy every single publisher. But it's specifically targeting the most impactful publishers that be like, hey, this publisher is very impactful for our brand. Let's see if we get them. That publisher is impactful for our brand. We got to get them. We got to get them before Microsoft does, right? And that's was what I'm trying to say for the conversation, right? Okay? The argument that Sony's broken, as you can see from these financial analysts, right? The Microsoft guys are being disingenuous, because what they're trying to do is, what they're really arguing is, Sony can't do what Microsoft did, which was just straight pay 60 billion, 69 billion, 70 billion cash in hand and boom, just buy it. Okay? That's really what they're trying to tell us. That Sony does not have the ability to drop 50, 60, 70 billion cash in hand and just buy a publisher. Okay? And that is a true statement. But the point is, that statement is pointless. The statement is worthless. It doesn't mean anything. Okay? The question is, does Sony have the capability to acquire a publisher? That is it. The method, the how it's done is irrelevant. It's, do they have the capability to do so? And as you can see from David Faulkner, Sony's top 10 shareholders are 8 banks, a hedge fund, and the Department of Treasury of Norway. And never mind, they could borrow money from Japan's government, right? They also have access to the biggest banks of Japan, and they always paid the debts. So they have great credit among those banks, right? So sure, you could say, oh, Sony don't have cash in hand to drop 50 billion. That's not how, that's irrelevant, right? So let's say, for example, Take-Two, which is 16 billion, right? And let's assume, Take-Two is about to purchase a major mobile gaming company that's valued like at 12 billion or something like that. Let's say Take-Two, because they purchase now the mobile side, their value now up to, let's say, 30 billion. Just make up a random number. Can Sony pay 30 billion to get all that? And the answer is yes. They have the ability to get it. Okay? Whether how they do it is irrelevant. It's just whether they can. And the answer is yes, they can. Another question is, should they? That's a whole new topic of discussion, right? Because now you can see, okay, if let's say Take-Two sells for 30 billion, but you just get Take-Two and their mobile side, a fraction of that you can get Square, Capcom, Konami, Sega. You can get 4 publishers, and it will be half the cost, maybe even a fraction of the cost, and you get so much more IPs. That's where the conversation lies, and it could go either or, right? But Sony has the ability to acquire. It's only a question of will they, right? Do they feel that it's necessary for their brand, right? I think if Microsoft keeps buying, the most impactful publishers, PlayStation could be in a bit of pickle, right? Now, it's not in a pickle where the brand will disappear or anything. The brand will still sell. It's just we're probably looking more like a PlayStation 3 era type scenario for PlayStation, where they sell a lot, but they don't dominate the console gaming. Now the console gaming space has been balanced out, right? PlayStation's not running away with the console sales. They're not getting the majority sales of multi-plats, and that's really a Sony concern, right? Because as long as the games are on the platforms, whatever, right? But at a certain point, if too many games get taken away from PlayStation, right? If too many games that we normally take for granted and say, yo, these games will be on PlayStation, boom, whatever. And slowly, and little by little, they're just not there no more. To the point where PlayStation is like, okay, you're going to get these mid to average Western games. And really, PlayStation's strength now is just the first party and the Japanese games. And that's really it, which would be a crushing blow. Because if you look at the sales, the top tier Western games are usually the best sellers. You know, you got the Maddens, the 2Ks, Elder Scrolls, you know, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead, a lot of big IPs from the West sell great on PlayStation. That's because PlayStation gamers enjoy them, right? But if they're gone, right, PlayStation gamers are going to look at their PlayStation console and they're going to see a highly reduced amount of top games that would normally be there. And now it's exclusive to one side of the house. You're going to see a lot of gamers move because maybe just first party and Japanese games is not enough, right? Could be those games become, you know, multi-console owners now. So instead of just owning a PlayStation, they now own an Xbox. But the question is which console they'll main on. They might main the Xbox ecosystem and then just the PlayStation would just be for exclusives in Japanese whenever they come out. You see what I'm saying? Sony has to really look at a whole bunch of stuff. But I think ultimately, now we can all agree, PlayStation has the ability to buy publishers. Can't buy everybody. Obviously, it will be the most impactful publishers. But the question is, will they? And if they do, who do they feel is the most impactful for their ecosystem? That's really what's going to go on. But I have a new theory. And hear me out. I think, and this is just brainstorming, hear me out, I think Sony has a way to end the console war instantly, and they don't have to spend a dime. Not one dime. They don't have to buy any publisher. But with this one move, it's over. We no longer, there will be no more console war to talk about. Console war is over. The Xbox influencers, fanboys, they would have nothing to say. It would just be, there would be no topic to talk about, right? In terms of that, right? And there's one move Sony can do, and they don't have to spend a dime. Now hear me out, right? Boom, Blackbeard got it. Sony picks up the phone, talks to Phil, and they say, hey, let's readdress this situation about Game Pass. We know earlier we said no, but hey, let's talk about it now. And Sony could be like, hey, you could put Game Pass exactly the way you want it. Third party and all. We will not limit you. But we have one exception, one caveat. And this is the only caveat we want. That it's not just Game Pass that you put on our platform. We also want you to support all your games for sale. So that way at least our audience on PlayStation, they have the option to sign up for Game Pass. Or if they want to buy your games directly to own it, they have the option to buy your games directly to own it. Just like PC. Fully support the PlayStation platform. And yes, we'll allow Game Pass. Now, hear this. The initial shock of that announcement, where Microsoft announced Game Pass on PlayStation, Microsoft providing PlayStation Day 1, everybody will talk shit on Microsoft's side. Ha! Yeah, Microsoft, Sony bent the knee to Game Pass. You know that's going to happen, right? Sony bent the knee to Game Pass. And there's going to be people upset that Sony made that decision. There's going to be PlayStation gamers upset that Sony made that decision, right? Because they're going to feel like something personal, like it's an L, right? So the initial shock of that, Microsoft won, they own the industry, right? Boom, 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 right? It will be a shock. People will, especially on the Xbox side, Xbox influencers, Dustin and Gary, yes, Sony bent the knee. They're going to make this into Sony submits. But once you get past all that BS, once you get past all the fanboy, ask yourself, what just happened? Think about it, right? Ask yourself what really happened. What ended up happening is, if you're a console gamer, you don't need an Xbox because the PlayStation 5 does everything the Xbox console will do, which is provide your Game Pass with all your day-and-day games first party, or you can buy all the Microsoft Xbox games. The multi-plats is already on PlayStation 5. And you get the PlayStation 5 exclusives. So why would you, if you're a console-only gamer, why would you buy an Xbox Series X? Because if you buy an Xbox Series X, You're only going to get the Game Pass and the third-party multiplats. You're not going to get the PlayStation exclusives. So you're really shortchanging yourself out of a whole bunch of games that you're not going to see. Right? So the initial shock of the first week is like, oh my God, Sony submitted Game Pass 1 and everybody's going to celebrate Game Pass victory. But then after a week or two, Xbox owners are going to be playing, man, I'm playing, Starfield Day 1 on Game Pass. And the PlayStation is going to be like, me too. And then the PlayStation gamer is going to be like, hey, I'm playing God of War Ragnarok. And then the Xbox gamer is going to be like, wait, hold on now. You playing Starfield? Yeah, on Game Pass. $15 a month, just like you. Awesome. Love it. The value. Love it. You were right. Xbox, you were right. You were absolutely right about Game Pass. Absolute value to the gamer. Ooh, Starfield is fire on my PS5. And Xbox is going to be like, and you also got Ragnarok? Like, yep. And I got Ragnarok. In fact, I'm going to switch out. In fact, I'm going to stop playing Starfield. I'm going to play some Ragnarok. What are you doing? And then they're going to realize, wait a minute, this me cheering for Game Pass on PlayStation 5 actually, it was a lot better in my head than what it really is. Why am I getting less games playing on Xbox now? You see what I'm saying? I want you to think about that. And I thought about that. If Sony said, hey, yeah, put Game Pass on it. Day one. Got it. We give in. Got it. And also sell your games on our console. Put it all. We're good. PlayStation 5 is now a Game Pass supported device. It's part of the Xbox ecosystem. Fine. Love those terms. Got it. But when you actually pick up the controller and now you're realizing from the gamer's perspective, the content that you're playing, that's when it hits home. That's when, after all the corporate concubining, after you're done being a concubine, right? And you're cheering and, you're twerking, and all that stuff, Phil, you're praising Phil, giving him his flowers. You were right, Phil. Yeah, we believed in you. When all that celebration is done and you just go back to simply playing the games, you start to realize, wait a minute, hold on here. How the hell does the PlayStation gamers get the better end of the stick of this deal? When we're the ones that, when the Xbox guys are the ones that supported this idea since the beginning. You see what I'm saying? So that's an interesting move, because if Microsoft's going to buy all these big publishers, Sony could just be like, well, you're going to own these big publishers anyway. And if in order for us to keep those big games stay on our platform, is just simply put Game Pass on it. So you can have our PlayStation audience sign up for Game Pass, fine. It's not like we're going to put the first party PlayStation games on Game Pass. They still have to buy those separately. So fine. And some people can ask, hey, what about Spartacus? They could tell the Spartacus to make it more about, just the entire library of PlayStation, backwards compatible, remastering PlayStation 3 to 1 games with trophies. They can make it more about that, right? Because there's a lot of people that want access to that huge library, especially if they find a way to improve on it and add trophies. They want to replay those games and get those trophies, right? Right? Now, ask you this, right? Some people may think, oh, that's delusional. Ask yourself, if Sony went to approach Phil Spencer and told him, hey, okay, fine. Because Phil, he wants Game Pass on PlayStation. He wants it on Nintendo. It's Sony and Nintendo saying no. But if they approach him like, Phil, okay, fine. You can put Game Pass. No changes to it on our PlayStation platform. But can you also provide your games for sale for those that don't sign up for Game Pass? Phil will take it. Phil will take it. He will absolutely be like, got it. And he will announce it. And then you get the fanboys and everybody else praising Microsoft move, saying Sony's bent the knee and all that stuff. But again, once you get past the celebration and all the fanboy council were nonsense, what ultimately did happen? You got PlayStation with every game Xbox gets, but not vice versa. All the first party exclusives that PlayStation gets, Xbox not going to get it. So once again, it's content being pulled away from Xbox onto other platforms, but not being returned in kind. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, Sony could really, as long as Sony could get past the media articles, the trash talking articles, as long as Sony could get their egos in check, because you're going to see the articles, PlayStation is now an Xbox device. You're going to see all these terms that's going to, gonna ruffle some egos. But if you can check your ego and be like, okay, in reality, crappy words, console war aside, PlayStation 5 having all this stuff, Game Pass and all this stuff, that's actually a banging platform. I'm just saying. My boy JFK TV, I gotta get you on the podcast, brother. If Game Pass goes to PlayStation, that would be the final indicator that Xbox will become a major third-party publisher. It makes sense both ways. Absolutely agree. But can you guys really argue that if Sony, we already know that he tried. So it's not even a question about Phil Spencer wanting Game Pass on PlayStation. He wants it on there. It's that Sony said no. They don't want it, right? Because at the time, they're worried about Game Pass, absorbing the third-party sales. Because any third-party game on Game Pass, that reduces the amount of people buying it on the PlayStation, store. So they don't get their 30% cut. Or, it could impact their bottom line in terms of third-party. The first-party doesn't mean nothing. Because Sony doesn't make money off of Microsoft first-party at all. It's all about the third-party. That's the main problem. But now that Microsoft's buying major publishers, and that these third-party games could potentially just disappear, which means now Sony don't make any money off these big third-party games anyway, because they're gone, then what's the difference then? If you're not going to make money, at least with Game Pass, PlayStation subscribe, I'm sure Sony and Microsoft will come up with a deal where a certain percentage that's signed up from PlayStation, Sony gets a cut, whatever. They're going to work all that out. But I think Sony, with that one move, if they don't want to get into an acquisition war, even though they could do it, no, not really acquisition war, if they don't want to spend the money to acquire third-party publishers, because they still on that path of organic growth, their mindset is, no, we're not going to spend money on the established platform, publishers. We want to encourage new developers, like, Haven Studios, Firesprite, Deviation Games. If they want to put money into that. Like, they don't want to put $30 billion into that. They want to put $30 billion, they don't want to put $30 billion into Take-Two or $40 billion into EA. They want to put $20 billion or whatever into new studios, and the conversations they have with these new developers forming new studios, right? And give them money to make their games. And if the games are huge, popular, and bangers, Sony could then offer, hey, you guys are awesome, you fit our profile, do you want to become part of Sony first-party studios? So you have new studios growing and expanding Sony's first-party platform. If Sony wants to keep going in that direction, then they're going to have to do something, because Microsoft is going to buy. So Microsoft's going to keep buying publishers up until they're told you can't buy no more. They're going to keep going until they're forced to, all right, you're done. All right, until like the Federal Trade Commissions, the European Union, even Japan, when they tell Microsoft, all right, enough, no more. What you bought is what you get. But until that point comes, they're going to keep going after. And I think Microsoft, their next one, if I were to make a guess, is going to be Take-Two. If I were to make a guess. After Activision, and Activision's done, they're going to have a conversation with Take-Two. If they can't take Take-Two, because let's say Take-Two doesn't want to sell, I don't know if they're going to go after EA. I don't know. Because one, they're not going to be able to make Madden and FIFA exclusive to Xbox. Sure, they could say day one on Game Pass, but the NFL and FIFA's not going to allow the games to be exclusive, right? And then two, buying EA doesn't mean you bought NFL rights. Like, it doesn't belong to EA. EA is just on a contract, right? But once the contract's over, the NFL can put that up for a bid, and they could say, no, Take-Two now has the NFL. So imagine you buy EA and you own the Madden franchise. Now all of a sudden, you no longer have the NFL license. Then the game's useless. Because Madden, without the professional players, it just doesn't mean anything, right? So then at that point, Microsoft could start looking towards East and start acquiring the Japanese studios, right? And in my opinion, out of all the studios, I think they will go for Square. I know everybody keeps saying Sega. They could potentially be Sega. I think Square, Sega, and Capcom. I think those are the three targets, right? Either way, Microsoft's not going to stop acquiring studios. They're going to keep gobbling up until they're told to stop. And they're going to keep doing it so they can provide more IPs day one on Game Pass. That's what it's all about, right? Microsoft could also probably go after Bungie again. Give them a really nice lucrative offer. But I think Bungie's really hardcore on staying multi-plat. And I think that's why they, so who knows. But there's a lot of things, right? But the clear thing is this. A lot of Microsoft fans are afraid of what Sony could do. I don't know why. It is what it is. These companies are going to do what they're going to do. There's no stopping them, right? So, in the midst of conversations, don't make yourselves look ridiculous. No one in gaming should make themselves ridiculous in the conversation. Sony has the ability to buy studios. Microsoft clearly has the ability to buy studios. The other major players can too. But ultimately, right, it really ultimately comes down to what does Sony view as important strategy, right? But if they don't want to buy the current publishers because they want to invest in organic growth, then Sony can also put all this stuff to rest. They could just put this to rest. They could just dead this whole nonsense. Just kill it right now by going to Phil Spencer and tell him, hey, put Game Pass on PlayStation, as well as, make the games for sale. Don't just put Game Pass and force the PlayStation consumer to get into Game Pass. Do it like PC. Provide the option. However the gamers want to do it, if they want to own their games, allow them to buy it. But also put Game Pass. We're cool. Whatever. And then that's it. Conversation's over. It's over at that point, right? Then the talk of Sony having to buy or acquire studios would not be a thing, right? Microsoft will probably stop acquiring studios at that point. They'll probably be done with Activision. They'll say, you know what? We don't need to do much anymore. We got our Game Pass on, that's arguably the most popular console that can handle the games, right? Because you could argue Switch is the top console, but a lot of games, especially for the next generation games, can't really run on the Switch, right? The Xbox Series X and, PlayStation 5 type games can't run the Switch. So they're not going to be on the Switch anyway. The games on the Switch will most likely be just the library of Xbox One games, but like the newer titles that's just going to be built for the current generation of games, there's nothing they can do, right? And as of now, PlayStation 5 is, for the next gen, is the most popular console, the most sold. Now, Game Pass is literally available on the most popular console as of the new generation or current generation that began. Lionel B. EA is a good buy. BioWare and Respawn got a lot of talent. Sony can nurture them to even better. Dead Space, Apex Legends, not bad at all. So there is good talent, right? BioWare is good talent. Respawn is good talent, right? But the reason why I brought up Madden and FIFA, because the real money maker out of all of them that really makes EA such a high price compared to others, because look at the difference between Take-Two and EA. Take-Two is $16 billion, but for some reason EA is around $39 billion, right? Okay, and it isn't because of Respawn and BioWare. In fact, BioWare's last game flopped. Anthem flopped. And Respawn, they got Apex, so that's a very popular game. So that's on top, true. But Apex wouldn't be able to go exclusive anyway, right? If Sony buys EA, Apex stays on Xbox. There's nothing they can do about that. It's kind of like Minecraft, Elder Scrolls Online. When you buy those games, Warzone, you can't disrupt the economy. If you look at EA, the power. If you look at EA, Lionel, the power of EA is backed. And I'm sure they got phone games and stuff like that. But in terms of the consoles, the power of EA is back behind Madden and FIFA. That's where every single year they rake in their billions, especially with money transactions. And it's kind of like Call of Duty. They just rake in money every single year. And no matter how bad the games are, Metacritic reviews is irrelevant. Gamers will buy those games consistently every single year. And that's where the value of EA, and that's where the big money at. But the problem is, if you buy EA because of that, you still don't own the NFL license. You don't own the FIFA license. That could easily go away at any point in time or whenever the contract is renewed, right? Or is up. So that's why EA is a very risky buy. I think Take-Two is the more safer one, because you got every title other than 2K. 2K is really the only game they have that is licensed by the NBA. And obviously, you can't make that exclusive. And of course, you can lose that. But that's much more safe. But 2K is not, it is a huge revenue source, but it's not the only major one. We all know the major moneymaker right now is Rockstar with GTA 5 Online and Grand Theft Auto single player campaigns and Red Dead and all that stuff. And then they have a lot of titles too. So I can see Microsoft going after 2K when the opportunity arises, and that's going to be after the Activision purchase, right? In 2023. So after 2023, don't be surprised if Sony doesn't do anything. Don't be surprised that in 2024 you hear Microsoft acquires Take-Two or is about to acquire Take-Two given certain parameters. EA is about to leave the FIFA license though. I heard about that. If EA loses the FIFA license, then they're really not gonna. Then that's even worse. The only license you guys Madden, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. But it's just not worth buying. It's Take-Two. Take-Two's the prize. That's where the big deal comes from, right? But again, if Sony's focus more is organic growth, giving opportunities for new developers to where they can become big studios, and then Sony wraps them up under the first party umbrella, if that's their strategy, they're going to have to war game the scenario of what if we do put Game Pass on PlayStation, and that way we don't have to worry about publisher acquisition. They may have to consider that, right? Hey, you let me know what you guys think in the comment section, right? Before I go away, let me see. What do you guys think about that? The impact of Game Pass. Like, once we get past that fanboy stuff, the fanboy trash talking, right? Once the dust settles, the impact of Game Pass and Microsoft supporting PlayStation day one, no different than their own console. What is the impact of that, of how that industry will now look, of how that generation would look? If Sony just says, you know what? Put Game Pass on PlayStation and support our platform day one with everything. You think it will result in lower quality games? So Metro Knight says lower quality games. So you think, and listen, when I mean by putting Game Pass on PlayStation, it doesn't mean Sony puts their first party on Game Pass. Game Pass is just whatever Microsoft puts. It has nothing to do with PlayStation first party. PlayStation first party is still going to do what they do. No, because EA Soccer Football is the most popular and best soccer simulator, people will keep buying it. Even without the name. Because I don't think... So I remember when Madden first came out, and I played it on the Sega Genesis. It had no name. It was just generic teams. No affiliation. They can't affiliation the studios. They cannot mimic anything. It was just a bland football game. And the teams were just called New York, San Francisco. It wasn't even the full teams. No NFL license, no official NFL studios. And just bland colors. So you think FIFA, it won't even be called FIFA no more. It would just be called football. And it would just have generic teams and names with no affiliation to the real thing. You think that game would still be popular? Sony can afford Take-Two. Let's see, not interested in paying a subscription to pay. See, but that's the thing. Just because Microsoft put it on PlayStation doesn't mean you have to subscribe. You just ignore it. No one's forcing anybody to subscribe to Game Pass. It's just now it's on PlayStation along with any game you want to buy, and then that's it. The PlayStation gamers are going to do what they're going to do. Sony has movies and games in Comic Lane. MS don't even have VR, handheld Xbox. They owe it for gamers who don't play sports games. Well, I think VR is great, but I don't think it's a prime mover. You can still have the names and the stadiums in place. No, you cannot. You cannot. If you do not have the FIFA license, the FIFA and stuff like that, you cannot have anything that's associated with that. It's gone. Don't think for a minute, we don't think about it. You don't have the FIFA license, but you're still going to put everything FIFA. Then what's the point of the FIFA license then? Then what are you paying FIFA for? You're paying FIFA to get the license and anything associated on the FIFA. That's gone. If you don't have the FIFA license, you lose everything pertaining to FIFA. They aren't paying for FIFA for the player names or stadiums. So usually the player names is associated. For example, we'll use all sports, right? The player names and stadiums fall under whatchamacallit, unless it's a different league and stuff like that, right? Then maybe they could do, I don't know. Soccer is weird. Maybe let me just back off on that one. Let me look at it this way from an MLB perspective, right? I'll use Major League Baseball, NBA, and Madden, NFL. So all players and all stadiums fall under the NFL. So in order to use the players' names, because they fall under the NFL, to use all the stadiums' names because they fall under the NFL, you need NFL's permission. Now, if the stadium and the player's name fall under another organization, and you would know better than that, you know, like I think you guys have like a World Premier League or whatever, but who owns those names? Like, who do the players fall under, right? Because in American sports, like let's say LeBron James falls under the NBA and stuff like that, whatever, and things like that, right? And the stadiums, Madison Square Garden, all that stuff falls under the NBA. Same thing with football. You understand? Tom Brady and all that stuff. They all fall under the NFL. You get the NFL license, you get access to their names, and you get access to the name stadiums. If you don't have an NFL license, you cannot use all that names. Now, you can use maybe an individual's name. For example, let's say Tom Brady wants his own game. So you can have Tom Brady football, but the only player in that game is going to be Tom Brady. The rest of the game is no-name guys, because that happened before. Like Joe Montana had his own football game and stuff like that. So that could be possible. Shout out to Jason. Welcome aboard. He said, I think they should buy Take-Two. They've been getting money off the same game since 2013, and they're already about quality. I made that statement too, Jason. I felt like the next best, to me, the number one target for PlayStation should be Take-Two, because Take-Two does a lot of single-player, you know, story-driven games. When you look at it, BioShock, Mafia, Max Payne, obviously Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead, the single-player, they're huge. So they're kind of aligned. They kind of see eye to eye with that, right? GTA 5 has been making revenue across all platforms for years, across all platforms. I think Sony might need something like that. GTA 5, consistent revenue from everything. The single-player games exclusive to their platform. And can you picture a PlayStation without Grand Theft Auto? Can anyone really fathom Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead no longer be on PlayStation? Rockstar no longer making games for PlayStation. That's like Rockstar's almost synonymous with PlayStation. They've been, you know, making games for PlayStation going back to the PlayStation 1. They've always been there, you know. Great look. What else? Yeah, GTA Trilogy. Jason, another super chat. Yeah, that's Rockstar getting lazy. And in my opinion, it's because they focus so much on the online, they got kind of lazy, right? But that's because of the direction Take-Two is guiding them in. If PlayStation, Sony bought Take-Two, they can now be like, all right, let's get back to, we're still going to do the online thing, right? Because that's important. But let's nurture our first-party story-driven output that, you know, 2K is so known for. And we're going to get that back. You know, we're not going to make those same mistakes. Because you know one thing, when it came to remasters and remakes, Sony has done a phenomenal job, right? So I think the GTA Trilogy remaster remake on the Sony, that Sony would have not allowed that game to come out like that. There's no way. Sony would have been looked at Rockstar like, will you look at this? You really think we're going to let you come out with this? No, dog. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony goes, scratch all that nonsense. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to do a GTA trilogy. You're going to do a full remake of GTA. Built from the ground up. We're just going to blast this through. We're going to just take it all the way to the top. Right? I guarantee that would have been better received. Vedra, Overwatch might now get bleeding edge characters. I don't know about that. I hope not. I hope they leave Overwatch alone. Right? The way it is, right? Bleeding edge characters I don't think fit that profile. That would be a terrible decision. You know, for me, Microsoft, for the most part, let Activision publishers do what they do. I think the only thing Microsoft really needs to address with Activision is the toxicity, the harassment, and get Bobby Kotick out of there. Address the nonsense that the workforce behind Activision is being subjected to. Right? Once you remove that, if Microsoft removes that, the developers and publishers that are there, they'll take care of the games, right? They just need that toxicity and Kotick to get out of there. I think he's holding them back, and I think his mentality is trickling down on certain supervisors who have the same crappy mentality. Get all those guys out of there. Get all of them out of there. All that toxic leadership, get them all out of there, you know? And I think Activision will be fine without Microsoft input, because let's be honest, Microsoft needs to fix themselves. Again, have you seen how Halo released? Good game, but they addressed a lot of issues that shouldn't have been there. They still don't got co-op. There's a lot of complaints if you listen to the Halo community, right? So Activision will be fine, right? I think Bobby Kotick is gone, right? And I think the reason why he wasn't able to leave before is because I think if you force him out, he gets like a $300 million. I just read it. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently if you force him out, he will be compensated $300 million. And I think that's why he has so much pull to stay. But under Microsoft, $300 million ain't shit. When you think about it, under Microsoft, they will gladly pay him $300 million to go. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want him there. So they'll be like, take your $300 million, bye. So under Microsoft, they have no issues with giving him $300 million. My boy Jason, he said, I would do a GTA that had all the single player characters in one game and had all the other cities to be online. Interesting. He would do a GTA that had all the single player characters in one game and all the other cities, one huge, massive map. That would be huge. You know, anybody else? Anybody concerns? No, Kotick is still there. Kotick is still there. Remember, Microsoft has not bought Activision yet. So, yes, Kotick, to Brian East, Yakame Kotick still there. Yes, he is still there. Microsoft, all right, so just in case people don't understand, Microsoft does not own Activision. They don't own them yet. Right? They're in the process to try to own them, but certain, legalities between the European Union, the Federal Trade Commission, they have to go through all that first, right? If they are able to purchase and it gets approved, you're looking at 2023 is when the purchase will go through. So all throughout 2022, Activision is not a Microsoft studio. They haven't bought them yet. It's after that acquisition, which again, 2023 is when things will start rolling. They'll boot him out. They'll give him his $300 million, if that's true, and get him out of here. Microsoft will have no problem getting rid of him for $300 million. You got to go. Kotick is the one winning from the acquisition. Yeah, if he gets his $300 million, I mean, shit. Kick me out for $300 million. But right now, as of 2022, Activision is still a third-party developer. No decisions. Microsoft has no influence on anything in 2022 because they don't own them. They can't do anything. They can't make no promises or whatever. So just to make sure everybody understands that. Halfway into 2023, that's when it's going to get interesting. That's when it's going to be an interesting year, right? I would say 2024 is, yeah, exactly. It's still out for fuck's sakes. I got it. It's true. It's still way out, right? This is just conversation. 2024 is when the movement's going to happen, right? That's when things will get really interesting, right? 2024. And to be honest, it might be too late, right? Because 2024 is still a long time, right? By the time 2024 comes around, we really only have about 3 years left until the new next generation starts. If this gen keeps with the same 7-year cycle, 2027 is when we'll get the new consoles, whatever they'll be called. Chances are PlayStation 6 will still be called PlayStation 6, right? Or, the PlayStation 6, they'll go with the same number. Xbox, whatever new moniker they have. But you can expect 2026 will be the conversation of rumors, project whatever. We're going to go through the same bullshit of, RDNA 5.5. It's going to, whatever happened in 2020 is going to be a repeat in 2026. And then 2027 is going to be the launch of the new consoles in November, if they go by the 7-year, right? So 2024 might be too late for any real impact. It's going to be interesting and stuff. But I think we can all agree from now until 2024, PlayStation's doing some bangers, right? Xbox is supposed to be releasing some bangers, but they just keep tripping over their own foot with delays and bad decisions. So, who the hell knows how the next 2 years is going to go by, right? There's a lot of people that have a lot of high expectation from Microsoft from these purchases. But, like, when did Microsoft purchase Ninja Theory in Compulsion Games? That was like, what, 2017? Can anybody? What was the E3 where Microsoft announced the purchase of like 6 studios? Compulsion Games, Ninja Theory, Obsidian. What year was that? I think it was 2017 or was it 2018? Or was it 2019? 2019? I think it was 2019. Help me out, chat, because I don't want to go on my phone and look at it. What year was that? When he announced, I think it was 2019. It was 2019 that he announced the purchase of Ninja Theory. I think it was 2019. It wasn't 2017. I know that because 2017 is when Hellblade came out. And Microsoft didn't announce purchase of Ninja Theory the year Hellblade came out. So I know it wasn't that. I think it was 2019, right? So 2019, you got 2020, 2021, 2022. So 3 years has gone by. And some people still are questioning full gameplay of Hellblade, right? Now, here's the important part. For those who haven't followed Ninja Theory with Hellblade. When Ninja Theory was in production of the original Hellblade, their fundamental idea was they didn't want to get back. They want to stay away from the 5-year, 6-year big AAA cycle. They wanted their games to be 2-3 year cycles, have the quality of AAA graphically, but it's still within the budget of, a quick game they could make. The original Hellblade only costed them $12 million to make, and that's pretty impressive when you look at it. Graphically, it's a perfectly graphically nice looking game, good gameplay. They launched it it was only $30. It wasn't a full $60 game, it was $30, right? And it had a nice graphics, whatever. That was their plan. So if their plan is to release games every 3 years, then technically speaking, they should be releasing a game this year, because it's been 3 years. So Hellblade should be coming out this year. I doubt it. June 18th? Was it really June 18th? I know, but I don't want to go on Google. I'm lazy right now. I mean, I could go right now. But it's Steady Flow correct? So Steady Flow. So June 2018, they made the announcement. Thank you, Jason. So 2019, 20, 21, 22. We're about to enter the 4th year of this acquisition. And we got no confirmation of games from them being released this year. Hellblade 2 should be releasing this year. Because Ninja Theory did not want to go into this 5-year cycle. They wanted their games to be released every 3 years. They wanted to make projects that they can sustain for 3 years. And sell it at a decent price. So like $30. But still have a nice graphical quality to them. If you don't believe me, go to their Ninja Theory channel. Look around 2016 videos. And it's their dev diary. And they explain what their vision is. So when Microsoft bought Ninja Theory, I knew exactly what it was. They want a studio that can produce, content quickly to help support Game Pass. But here we are, 2022, and no sign of Game Pass. No sign of Ninja Theory's Hellblade 2 being released this year. They might announce it later on. Not at E3 though, because there is no E3 this year. So Microsoft's gonna have to pick another venue. But unless, so you can imagine you're not gonna see this game within the first 6 months this year. So is this game another November game? Like really, Xbox is all about playing games in November? I don't know. It's a weird scenario, right? Fable, another one. Like, I'm going to say this. When Microsoft finally decides to release all these games, there's going to be a lot of games because it's all being pushed later and later and later. So there's going to be a lot of games. There's going to be a lot of flood of games coming at some point. It's just when, right? But anyway, I think we chatted enough. I got my point across. I want to say, shout out to all of you for stopping by. All of you who provided super chats. Great questions. Love it. I hope I was able to answer all of them. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I got 60 frames no lag every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I hope you're there to rock out. And then, of course, I throw my little videos or I just might surprise you. Let me know if you're feeling me doing also another live podcast on Sundays. Because I know the Tuesday one might be late for some of you, especially for the European audience. if you're kind of feeling this, I might throw this in there too. You know, make this a regular thing with you guys. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section, or hit me up on Twitter and see if you appreciate this and you really be down for me to also go live on Sundays and stuff like that. I have to jump on 60FNL next time you go on live. I'm gonna send you the link. Hit me with a DM, Jason. Definitely, most definitely. Hit me up right now in the message box. I will send you. I don't know if you guys are on my Discord or whatnot, right? And I'll set you all up. But I definitely want you to get up on Tuesday, right? But anyway, I'm out of here. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Or for some of you in Europe, good night. And I'll see you guys Tuesday, right? Again, don't forget to like, subscribe. We truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for rocking out. This is your boy Porter Rock 77. Your only friend, these YouTube streets. Grand opening, grand closing. All right, but let me know in the comments section or hit me up on Twitter. Let me know if you like this. Me also doing a live on Sunday. I will be more than happy to hook this up. Anyway, you guys take care. Peace.